Zee Connect welcomes you all to yet another fabulous episode to keep you updated on what's happening in your city and perhaps your neighborhood. 2 more months before we can put 2020 behind us, but while we are in it, let's see what's in store. Dubai Autism Center recently celebrated the graduation of the first batch of its training program, the Registered Behavioral Technician Program, a program that is designed for special educators with an aim to assist in delivering behavioral analysis services. The RBT program was delivered by the Dubai Autism Center program head, Dr. Nicholas Orlan. Let's meet him. Dr. Nicholas, welcome to Zee Connect.
Thank you.
So, Doctor, we all are aware of the wonderful work that is being done by Dubai Autism Center for Autistic Children, but why don't you take us through the facility and tell us more about it?
Sure. So what we're doing right now is we're focusing on a lot of evidence-based procedures. We've actually just made some big changes at our center, so we're focusing on industry standard services so we can produce the best quality of life for our learners.
How early is it detected in children? How early do the symptoms appear?
Yeah, so it can be diagnosed as early as 2 years old, but the symptoms can be evident as young as 1 year old. So for example, if a child's not responding to their name by their first birthday, that could be a potential sign of autism.
Oh, okay. All right. So you have sort of 3 different wings in Dubai Autism Center,
yes.
right? Tell us more about that, please.
Sure. So our 3 services are our assessment, where we focus on comprehensive assessment. We're focusing on occupational therapy, speech, applied behavioral analysis, and psychology. What's really great about that is that we get to look at all areas of the child's life, which is really great. Mm-hmm. We have our clinic-based service. We get to focus on one-on-one services. So we focus on applied behavior analytics services. We're focusing on teaching skills. Okay. We're focusing on speech language pathology and occupational therapy services as well. Okay. And our 3rd service is our school. So our school, we have 35 classrooms, so we're doing some really good services there with our evidence-based teaching procedures that we use.
Mm-hmm. There is a training program that you have just very successfully completed. Tell us about that.
So we started this back in February, right before the pandemic. So applied behavioral analysis is an evidence-based science utilized with children on the autism spectrum. So we trained all of our staff on the principles of applied behavioral analysis to get the RBT credential. It's a 40-hour training. It takes about 2 to 3 months to implement. So the RBT program, what's really nice about that is it's a teaching methodology that's ultimately utilized for children on the autism spectrum. So by training our staff on these basic principles of behavior, we're able to have them implement these really advanced teaching procedures, which really help our kids have a better quality of life.
Yeah. So Dr. Nicholas, there's a lot of emphasis on inclusion in this country, which
yes.
is great. How does Dubai Autism Center contribute to that?
Yeah, so what we really want to do is we want to focus on transitioning our children into the least restrictive environment possible, which would be a mainstream school environment.
Yes.
So our goal is preparing them for that. So we have to teach certain prerequisite skills for a child to benefit from a mainstream school environment. So for example, listening to the teacher, being able to sit for a period of time, and benefiting from that academic instruction. So we really focus on teaching our children all those prerequisite skills so that they can be successful in their school environments.
Wonderful. Dr. Nicholas, as I said in the beginning, you all have been doing wonderful work. Wish you more and more success with the center. It's been progressing very, very well. Thank you so much for talking to us and giving us so much of information.
Great. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Priyanka, one of the specialities of Dubai Autism Center is to provide speech therapies, right?
Yes. Absolutely.
So can you elaborate more on this?
As you know, the speech-language communication impairment is the defining factor in diagnosing the children with autism. So it takes a vital role for us as a speech therapist to work on to enhance their communication level and to improve the quality of life.
Okay. So at what age usually people come with their children having speech impairment, and how do you really assess that they have this kind of an impairment?
Yeah, it depends like which age they're joining at school, but we have a clinic as well. So where we can start the assessment from the age of 2 and it can last to 21 years.
Okay.
Apart from the children with autism, we diagnose other cases as well.
Yeah.
Like if you have difficulty in articulation or any other communication disorder, we do assess other associated factors as well.
Okay. So when you devise this program, is it like different for every child, or do you devise it for a certain age group?
No, it is 100% individualized.
Okay.
But it has to happen for individualized. For example, it cannot be copy-pasted from one child to another. And speech language therapist would be administering, as I mentioned before, the standardized test based on the need of the child. So it depends on the requirement, we select the test.
Right. So right now running the programs in COVID, I'm sure was a challenge.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
How did you cope with that?
Yeah, actually, it was quite challenging because it was none of us were ready for coping with it. So it was very hard time. Like about 2 weeks or something, we got chance to make the therapist understand what we are going to provide from Dax's perspective to the parents, and as well the parents has to get to understand what we are, and then like that is like live telecast or live speech therapy was going on.
Okay, great. So you managed to cope with it.
Yes, it was difficult, but I would say like because of the tremendous team, or it included the parents, they took part brilliantly, and definitely Nick taught us how to manage at that time, and that's it, like we went well, I guess.
It's really great how you all have coped up with the pandemic, and you all are doing really, really well. Kudos to you guys and to the entire team of the Dubai Autism Center. Thank you so much for talking to us, Priyanka. It's been great.
Thank you so much for coming here. Thank you.
Fashion is part of the daily air, and it changes all the time with all seasons. In fact, you can even see the approaching of a revolution in clothes. So how about we show you how to style yourself minimalistically?
I've loved wardrobe styling, fashion design from a very young age. And the kind of styling that I do is this concept called capsule wardrobe styling. If you're not aware of what it is, capsule wardrobe styling is basically the concept जहाँ पे आप एक outfit उठाते हो. For example, in this particular concept, it's my blazer. This camel blazer, I'm going to be showing you different ways of wearing this one piece. So कैसे आप इस blazer को एक अलग trouser के साथ, एक अलग dress के साथ, skirt के साथ pair करके, how can you give it a different look? A blazer, when it comes to your mind, the first thing that you think of is formal, professional, corporate, serious. That's the kind of an impression that a blazer has on you. But I'm going to show you how this one blazer can look formal, yet casual, chic, cool, chill, fun in different ways. So if you stick around, I'm going to show you how. My first look being a complete formal look. Now in this look, I have the same camel blazer, and I paired it with a turtleneck nude top and a high waist wide leg trouser. I've also accessorized it with a sleek brown belt and a watch to give it a nice rich touch, and I've also paired it with nude heels. I also have a few casual, comfortable, cool, chic look, basically with a short skirt. You can wear it either with a short skirt and a top inside, pair it with a nice pair of leggings. I have a chunky black belt and knee-high boots to give it a nice winter touch. My third is to give you a nice street style look where mom jeans are so in. So I decided to pair mom jeans with a nice classic black tee and the camel blazer. And to add a nice touch of chic, I've paired it with a nice red bandana with a cute little bow and shoes to top it all. I also have other looks which are not so formal, semi-formal. There's a pair of black trousers paired with a cool basic white tee and the camel blazer, so that you have a nice balance between formal and casual. Other looks include a short skirt paired with again a turtleneck black top, the camel blazer and boots. Coming to street style, there's my denim dungarees, which are my favorite, and I decided to pair my denims with a nice pink turtleneck top and the camel blazer again.
And with your fashion fix in place, it's time for a little break, but we are going to see you soon with lots more. Welcome back, and it's time for your favorite part of the show that tantalizes your taste buds. Swat se Swagat.
Hola and Swat se Swagat hai aap sabka in a delicious episode of Zee Connect. As usual though, today I started with hola, ¿qué tal? How are you guys today? Because we're making Mexican. I am always excited when it comes to Mexican food, full of flavors, lovely nutrition. Look at how colorful this is. I mean, you already want to eat it. And the best thing, it's really easy. So let's start with making healthy Mexican lettuce wraps. The good thing is you can have it in veg, non-veg options. Today I will be using chicken, but you can use tofu, you can use paneer, you can really play with whatever flavors you want. The good thing I like about Mexican food is that it's very similar to Indian food in terms of the spices they use. So for someone who likes Indian food and doesn't want to venture out too far, Mexican cuisine is a good place to start. So let's start with our chicken prepping. Now what I like doing is, I like to take a whole chicken breast and cut it into a thinner slice like this. So press it down and cut it into half, because the flavors get really well absorbed then, and it just cooks that much quicker as well. So now that you have your chicken breast nice and thin like this, so let's start seasoning. I will start with smoked paprika, just a little bit, because we will also have cayenne pepper. And then cayenne pepper or chili powder. I do not like too much chili, as you guys already know, so I will just sprinkle the tiniest bit. And cumin powder. Cumin is one of the spices that is most commonly used in Mexican food, just as our Desi cuisine. And that's probably one of the reasons why it's so similar to Desi cuisine. And of course, a little olive oil, so that the masalas can really have something to stick onto the chicken with. And finally, some sea salt. Now feel free, hands in, nice massage to your chicken. Now you could coat it on both sides, but I like coating it on just one side, so it's really up to you. And there we go, that's our chicken. Now that goes into our frying pan. Now you do have the option of putting this in the oven, but I just wanna have it a little crispy, so I'm gonna pan sear it instead. So a little olive oil again, and in goes our chicken. And the other piece. I absolutely love the way Mexican food smells when it comes in contact with heat, because the masalas are just so rich and so smoky that it really releases all of that goodness. So I flipped it pretty quickly the first time, and then the masala side down, we let it cook for a little longer. And here you can see our chicken has browned really nicely, and that's when you know it's ready. Just to be super sure, you can give it a nice poke. If it comes out nice and soft, you know it's ready. Now don't overcook this, because we don't want to completely make the meat chewy. So make sure to have a little moisture to your chicken, but at the same time, nice and crispy on the outside. All right, so I'm gonna put my stove off, take this out, and now we're just gonna chop this up into little cubes. The best thing about this recipe is that it's really convenient to eat, and it's also fun to make, because you can have the whole assembly process, you can have your kids, you can take this to a picnic in different boxes and then just assemble it fresh, and it's gonna be as fresh as it would be coming out of your kitchen. So now to make our pico de gallo, or cachumbar in simple terms, but it sounds fancier in Mexican, so let's just use the Spanish word. So for that, I will need tomatoes that I have diced up. I like keeping the little seeds and the liquid in it, because it really adds to that moisture. And then I have some red onions that I've chopped up. Now traditionally, this with a little lime and salt would be it. So it's literally kachumbar, right? But my twist, as promised, I will be adding pickled jalapenos with a little bit of that vinegar that it comes in. So just a little bit of that to add that flavor as well as kick. I'm gonna give this a nice mix. Surprise number 2, we will be adding garlic. So it's just 1 clove, very little bit, that I'm gonna microplane in, but it's really gonna add that boost of flavor. When there's a hint of garlic in the background, that adds so much flavor to every single dish. Now you could play with it a little more. You could add maybe a little agave to sweeten it out, to balance the flavors from the jalapenos and the onions. But I like keeping it this way because I have sour cream during my assembly that is gonna negate and soften all the flavors together. So let's assemble. You get yourself your serving dish and you pick out one nice iceberg lettuce. I absolutely love iceberg lettuce. I mean, that crunch. Oh, delicious. Okay, so to this now, I will start with adding some of the chicken that we've made. And we will then add some red bell peppers. Now you could cut them smaller if you find it more convenient to eat, or you could leave them lengthwise because you're going to be biting them off lengthwise anyways. A few yellow ones. It's so colorful. Mexican food, like I said, always excites me. Red cabbage, even more color, not to mention nutrition, of course. And cilantro. No Mexican dish is ever complete without a nice garnish of cilantro. Second last, pico de gallo that we've made with our little twist to it. And finally, as promised, a big scoop of sour cream. And that is our complete wrap. It is delicious, packed with flavor, packed with nutrition, packed with color. And this is a tip. Every time you're confused if your plate is nutritious enough or not, the more colorful it is, the more nutritious it is. That's as simple as it gets. So there we go. That is our wrap. I'm gonna make a few more because you never eat Mexican food alone. It's always with your amigos. And one more, and we're gonna be ready to sit down and munch. And this is our delicious, nutritious, colorful, flavor-packed Mexican lettuce wraps. 0 carb, guys, so eat as many as you want. You're not gonna put on any weight. It's delicious. It might actually help you lose weight. And enjoy this. Don't forget to share this with your amigos. Until next time, bye. So for our Mexican chicken wraps, we start with the chicken by slicing it lengthwise so it becomes thinner. Then we season that with some smoked paprika, a little cayenne pepper, and a nice helping of cumin powder. Massage this in with a little olive oil, and lastly, of course, sea salt. After marinating only on one side, add a little olive oil to your pan and put the chicken to pan sear it. Once the chicken has cooked through, cut them into little cubes and place on the side. Next, for the pico de gallo, we will start with a little tomatoes diced, red onions also diced, some pickled jalapenos that I have just chopped up roughly, and a little bit of the vinegar from its jar. Next, I will add grated garlic just for that kick. And then move on to the assembly. Get yourself a nice leaf of iceberg lettuce and add our chicken. Next, add some red bell pepper, some yellow bell pepper, and some red cabbage. A little cilantro, of course, it's Mexican, and a decent helping of our homemade pico de gallo with a twist. Finally, one nice big scoop of sour cream. And here you have your delicious, succulent, flavorful, colorful Mexican lettuce wraps.
Did I tell you that Mexican is one of my favorite cuisines? And I can't wait to try those Mexican wraps at home. But we'll keep that for later. For now, a short break. Welcome back. A dance form that is older than time, one that dates back to 200 BC, that originated in temples but has found liking across several cultures across the globe, and the only dance form to feature in Michael Jackson's Black or White. What is it? Check it out.
Namaskar. I have been practicing Indian classical dance form. The name is Odissi. I just want to show you a little bit of dance today, that what is traditional Odissi looks like. I'm going to perform a Pallavi. It's Sankaravaranam Pallavi, so I hope you will like it. After that, I want to show you a little bit of dance which is normally classical dancers don't do, but I approach to do it. I hope you will like it. It's from the BAHUBALI 2 movie, and it's a beautiful, powerful music. I hope you will see and you like it. Thank you.
Beautiful, wasn't it? And I can only imagine the amount of hard work, the amount of practice that goes into a dance form like this. Well, on that note, we come to the end of this episode, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please keep sending us your feedback, your comments on our social media handles below. I'm going to see you next week with lots more. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy. Signing off.